If you can all join us as USMWF family member Michelle Olson sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Your voice is amazing, and it's a true honor to have you sing this morning or this afternoon or evening, sorry, at our USMWF Workers Memorial Day. We would like to start off by welcoming everyone to the United Support and Memorial for Workplace Fatalities' second National Virtual Workers Memorial Day ceremony. USMWF is a national not-for-profit organization that offers support, guidance, and resources to those affected by work-related injuries, illnesses, and diseases. We are dedicated to sharing lessons learned that lead a movement of change and promoting actions for safe and healthy working conditions. Through the collective voice of families, of fallen workers, and other activists, we strive for the elimination and control of workplace hazards, therefore preventing future tragedies. We come together this Workers' Memorial Day as leaders, safety advocates, employers, employees, community members, and of course, family members across our nation to honor, recognize, and remember the men and women that were fatally injured due to a work-related incident, illness, or disease. Oftentimes we come together on this day and share with everyone the heartbreaking numbers, the statistics, along with a worker's face of those we have lost due to a work-related incident, illness, or disease. I think these statistics are very important, as many work incidences that a worker is fatally injured do not reach the local media outlets. They get lost or forgotten by everyone but by those that are left behind, unless it's a tragedy that takes the lives of many workers at one time. The U.S. Bureau of Statistics reported that one worker is fatally injured in the United States every 99 minutes in 2019. That is approximately 5,333 women and men and children that were fatally injured, all because they went to work. The average individual in the United States has approximately 3 family members. That means each fallen worker left behind approximately 16,745 family members to deal with the everlasting emotions and grief. Now, let's be honest. USMWF believes that the 16,745 is low, and there are many, many more family members left behind. Now, all of these numbers I gave you, I want you to remember one worker that went to work and never came home is one too many. One worker that contracted an illness or disease at work is one too many. One family member that receives a call that their loved one was fatally injured or lost due to a work-related incident, disease, or illness is one too many. We believe it is important to know that our fallen workers are so much more than the statistics or the numbers they are. Our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, our children, our grandparents, our aunts and our uncles. They are our family to thousands of people that are left behind to deal with the everlasting devastation, pain, and suffering one endures after such a tragic loss. To those family members, they were their provider, the partner, their supporter. They were the warm embrace that welcomed them through the day. They were those that made the future goals and dreams with. They were someone that they confided in and the ones that were there on the good days and the bad days. Sadly, many times they were the ones that they raised and cheered through life, excited to see what the future may hold for them. They were our everything. They were their life. We know that there is no rhyme or reason to who will be directly affected by workplace injuries, illnesses, and diseases, as it affects all industries, all genders, all nationalities, and religion. And in 2020, the year we all want to forget, was a year that we as a nation will always remember. We know and understand that thousands of lives were forever affected last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As our nation began to shut down, in many parts, our frontline, essential, and healthcare workers continued to work. They were working hard to save and protect lives, process our food, stock our shelves in our local grocery stores, maintain our justice system, transport individuals to and from their destinations, and those that educated our children and sadly contracted the COVID-19 virus. USMWF is blessed and honored to connect with families across the United States. We hear the accounts from our family members of what to their loved ones, and what happened to their loved ones that day and how that has forever changed their life. They open their hearts to us and share their memories that have brought them to laughter and to tears. And we are so grateful for the opportunity to hear each of them, as it truly means so much to us, and each one of them deserves to be recognized. To the families that have been directly affected by a work-related incident, illness, or disease, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry for the pain that you and your family are enduring at this time. I'm sorry you may not have received or found the closure that you deserve. I'm sorry that you learned of this day because you were affected by a work-related incident, illness, or disease. We know and understand that those words are not enough. We know firsthand that there are no words, no money, nothing that ultimately can stop the pain and heal the wounds left behind after such a loss. I wish that there was a magic wand we can use to turn back time to better days for you and every family. However, I do know you are not alone, as there are so many families that know and understand what you are going through today, tomorrow, and each day following. I know that you have a powerful voice, a voice of urging all to make their needed changes at the level to make safety a top priority every day. You have the ability to turn something so tragic, unexpected, into something positive in memory and honor of your loved one. On this day, we give a special recognition to all of our fallen workers. Know that they will and are remembered today and throughout the years. Thank you. I am honored to stand beside one of the strongest individuals I know, Tammy Spivey, as she has taken her brother Sean Boone's tragic work incident and turned it into this amazing organization, USMWF. Her hard work and dedication can truly, love shines through to all of the families. I am happy to work with her each and every day and honor and support, educate, and prevent work-related incidences, illnesses, and diseases. I am happy to introduce you all today to Tammy Spivey, United Support and Memorial for Workplace Fatalities founder. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for that gracious introduction. That was awful sweet of you. I'm honored and thrilled to be here today and to welcome everyone here. There was a time when people did not want the family members involved because they felt like we were just emotional. And of course, you're going to be emotional during that time, but you can still do things. You can still get the points across. So I just feel like the organization has came such a long ways since the beginning. We've been able to bring the communities, the unions, the health and safety representatives, to all kind of gather around the families now and honor and support them. And I'm also honored to be working with all the families that we have came in contact with over the past 13 years. When I started USMWF, I started it because it started out because my brother was killed in a combustible dust explosion. And I knew that there had to be other people that felt the same way as me. They needed answers and they couldn't connect with anyone else's grief. So I thought it was important for there to be a central location where all the families that needed support, guidance, and resources could find these, and they could also memorialize their loved one. We have over 5,000 followers on all of our social media pages. It's pretty amazing. And then those are all supporters of USMWF. And we also have family members from all across the United States now that share their heartache and their pain and their accounts. And it's all in the hopes that there would be some change or some lessons learned. I am really, really, really proud of what USMWF has become and all of the families that are involved with it and all of their supporters. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy, very much. USMWF is very excited USMWF is very excited to announce the next speaker, as he is someone that we have known over the years and have worked beside in preventing work-related incidents, illnesses, and diseases. He has 25 years in the Health and Safety and Environment Department of United Steelworkers, serving as the Assistant Director and Principal Investigator until 2019. On January 20th of this year, we were excited when we received notification that Jim Frederick was appointed as Acting Assistant Secretary of Labor for OSHA. Please join me in welcoming Acting Assistant Secretary of Labor for OSHA, Mr. Jim Frederick.
Tanya, thank you for the introduction. It's so honored to be here with you tonight. I really am honored to spend a bit of time with you all this evening. It's nice to see you, and it's nice to see Tammy as well. I think of the number of years of working with USMWF and the importance of the voice that you all have brought to this conversation over the years. I think back to one of the first events that I was in person with you all. I believe it was in 2008, and we were standing in front of the Labor Department, the U.S. Department of Labor, and it was an honor to be part of that event with you all. And I know that the work that you have done over the years has brought an important and needed voice into the conversation about workplace health and safety. So thank you to everyone who's been involved over the years with that. I have had a few kind of prepared remarks, but I tell you, I really would much rather just kind of talk for a minute about what Workers' Memorial Day means to me on a personal and individual level. The importance of the work that is done in the health and safety community to prevent these horrible and horrific tragedies of workplace fatalities is vital. And it's vital for the voices to be heard and to continue to push forward an agenda that provides for improved health and safety conditions in all workplaces. I know, so many people that I've come across standing in a parking lot, standing in a driveway, sitting at around a kitchen table at a house, that we've had a conversation about what happened to their family member that they lost. And a couple of things have always held true with those conversations. First, there are no good answers to the very many very good questions that they have there are just no good answers to them because of the horrendous conditions that lead to these incidents. And secondly, that the toll that this takes is not just on the individual, as tragic as that is, it's also on their entire family, as Tanya, you highlighted in your introduction. It's also on the coworkers, the people who had spent time together for so many years working, and the effects on them are important as well. And it's also on the community. And so the spread of the effects of these horrible workplace fatalities and deaths by illness that are related to work are just very, very important to recognize and understand. We've also already talked about recognizing what we've all experienced in the past year around COVID-19 and the pandemic. And we know that so many of the more than 500,000 people in this country who have lost their lives to COVID-19, that so many of them contracted COVID-19 while they were at work, and that COVID-19 was spread through the workplace. And so we certainly need to continue to strive to make improvements in the arena of controlling the spread and transmission of COVID-19 in the workplace. It's in all of these workers' memories of this last year and every year that we need to continue to do the mourning that we do through events like this, and also to continue to fight for improved health and safety conditions, fight for improved workplace regulations and rules so that employers will know and understand what to follow, and make certain that hazards and unsafe conditions are eliminated. We owe it not only to those that we've lost, but we owe it to the future generations, the people that will be in workplaces, to make certain that we're doing our part to provide them with as safe of a workplace as possible. As Tanya said, I started working with OSHA on January 20th. And so 3 months and 5 days ago, started this task, and have been trying to do a number of things, but also just want to continue to think about the things that you all have been going through in your individual experiences, and recognize and understand that we at OSHA need to do more to help everyone that's involved with this organization and every other workplace injury, fatality, and illness that takes place. We need to work collectively as a society to do a better job of educating workers and their employers on hazards and unsafe conditions. And we have to make sure that we all are following through to make certain that employers are addressing those hazards and unsafe conditions in workplaces, and improving their workplace health and safety programs and health and safety management systems so that risk to workers is reduced and eliminated. We need to help employers that are struggling with this, struggling to find ways to provide better protections to all of their workers, and they need our assistance. We also need to make certain that we recognize and appreciate those employers that are having a very good and mature, effective health and safety management system in place, and help them to better share their good practices beyond the fence of that workplace to other workplaces, so that others can learn and improve as they move forward. And for those that are asking questions and needing help, we need to make certain that assistance is available. And most importantly, from the OSHA perspective, we need to make sure that the voice of every worker that goes into the workplace, that they understand that they have a means available to them to ask for help from OSHA. And in response to their ask for help, we at OSHA need to make certain that we're able to come out to their workplace and provide the assistance that they've asked for when they've identified something that's an unsafe condition or hazard. Identify that, take the appropriate steps to document that, and make certain that it is rectified, and learn from that, not only in that workplace, but in other workplaces with similar hazards. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is make certain that every worker knows about their rights and what to do if they believe that safety and health is not being protected. So we have to improve compliance with the OSHA Act. That's the bottom line, because that's what's necessary to better protect workers across the board, across this entire country. We must keep making progress and continue the dream that we all have, that one day events like this will be a distant memory, because in that day, every preventable worker death will be prevented. Together, we can help fulfill the promise of the OSHA Act for every worker in this country, no matter what job they do, no matter what language they speak, no matter where they came from or the color of their skin. And we want to do that together, and we stand ready to continue to work with all of you in that process. So with that, I thank you all for the time to chat with you this evening, and I'll turn it back over to Tanya.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for taking the time and joining us and speaking. And we look forward to working with you in the future. I'd like to introduce Peg Seminario. She was the former director of the Occupational Safety and Health in the AFL-CIO. She's a longtime mentor and advocate. She has extensive experience in safety and health, policy, regulation, and legislation. She participated in dozens of rulemaking processes with the OSHA. She organized campaigns on the right to know about chemical hazards and ergonomic protections. Peg was a leader in the efforts to enact the 9/11 Health and Compensation Act. Please join me in welcoming Peg Seminario.
Thank you very much, Tammy, and thanks to Tanya and all of you at the USMWF for all of the wonderful work you do. And also a big shout out to my friend Jim Frederick for taking on this really important job in coming to OSHA to be the acting assistant secretary, and in a very, very difficult and very challenging time. So this year, Workers' Memorial Day, which is April 28th, it's particularly special. Workers' Memorial Day, we chose, when we started Workers' Memorial Day, chose April 28th because it is the anniversary of when the Occupational Safety and Health Act went into effect. It also is the anniversary of OSHA, when OSHA was started. And this year, it's the 50th anniversary of the law and the 50th anniversary of OSHA. And most importantly with that law, it was really the first time that the government and the country made a commitment to workers that they had a right to be safe on the job, a right to a safe job. It's really hard to believe that it's been 50 years. It's been a 50 years of struggle. We've had some amazing progress that's been made in those 50 years of protecting workers from injuries, from deaths, from toxic chemicals like asbestos and benzene. We've had a lot of defeats as well. And as Tammy and Tanya and everyone knows, we have a lot of unfinished business. As Tammy said, she came into doing this work in response to a combustible dust explosion, and fought so hard for a combustible dust standard. We still don't have that standard. We still don't have the kind of protections we need for so many hazards on the job. And so it is a very, very long, very hard struggle, but it is so very, very important. And as Tanya said, the toll that we see every year is great. This year, particularly so with COVID, I must say that, for the decades that I've been doing this work, I could not have imagined the kind of catastrophe, the kind of horror that has been, imposed upon as a result of COVID-19. This really is the biggest safety and health crisis that we've ever faced in this country. It's a crisis for the entire country, obviously, in the entire world. But as Jim Frederick said, it really has been had a very, very, harsh impact on working people. Those people who didn't have a choice. If they had to go to work, they had to show up. They were the ones who were exposed. And as a result, you know, we see the infections in the meatpacking workers, you know, obviously the healthcare workers who are working on the front lines and continue to do such heroic work. But in the corrections officers, the transit workers, the grocery store workers, all those workers who showed up every day to try to protect us, try to keep the economy going, have suffered just a really, really horrendous toll. And so, you know, they have been heroes and we owe them gratitude, but we owe them more than that. We owe them protection on the job from this terrible, terrible virus. And, you know, as all of us know that, you know, COVID has brought this into you know, a focus, which is apparent to everyone, is that the real risk that workers face on the job. And as Jim Frederick said, you know, oftentimes it's those who are, you know, the most vulnerable. They don't have the representation, they don't have a union, they're the immigrant workers, you know, those who can be, you know, abused by their employers. And they indeed have suffered, you know, the greatest toll during this pandemic. And it's not just them, it's their families, it's their communities. And so with this pandemic, it really has brought to, you know, the public and brought to the country the toll that so many workers face, whether it's, you know, COVID, whether it's a death or a significant serious injury, you know, from a workplace incident, which, you know, results in very, very severe injury or death. The impacts are enormous. And so on this Workers' Memorial Day, I think, you know, as we do every year, we remember, we honor. And this year, a very special honor to all those who have worked so hard to take care of all of us and who have given so much to trying to protect us and protect our country. But not just to honor them, not just to remember them, but also to recommit to doing everything we can to protect workers from this horrible COVID-19, but from all the other serious hazards that they face in the job. And hopefully with a new administration that's committed to working people, we can make some real progress moving forward to give workers the protections they need, the protections they deserve, but the dignity and respect for all of the work they do. So again, thank you very much. I'm really delighted to join you this evening, and turn it back to Tammy or Tanya, whoever is taking us forward here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peg. We love having you join us, and you said everything just perfectly. We do sit here in honor, but we really, together, we all can truly make a difference. And your dedication to workplace safety and workers' right is a power to be reckoned with. So we thank you very much for joining us. A life can forever be changed in a moment. And how you take that moment says a lot about you as an individual. This evening, we are grateful for Owen Jaukens joining us and sharing the incident and forever changed his life and the dedication he has had to improve workplace safety and to prevent similar incidences from occurring. USMWF is proud to stand beside him to improve the needed change to workers' rights. Please welcome or join me in welcoming Owen Jaukens.
Thank you, Tanya. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to speak today. And, thank you for the help that you've given me over the last few years. I cannot personally begin to understand the pain and the turmoil and suffering that one experiences from losing a loved one or a family member in a workplace incident, or the struggles they experience on a day-to-day basis from such an incident. However, I do know what it's like to experience a severe injury on the job. In 2018, the night before Thanksgiving, I was in a utility trench fixing a 911 fiber optic line that was damaged. When the utility trench I was in collapsed and buried me underground, crushing me. When a worker is injured on the job, there's that worker must fight through. The physical aspects of the injury itself, being the hospitalizations, surgeries, procedures, years of physical therapy, and other struggles that they experience. But there are also issues that are unfortunately all too often ignored. The psychological and financial and family issues that arise from such an injury, be it missing work or significant medical expenses that can cause severe depression, stress, and anxiety on the worker itself, along with their families. Excuse me. Those incidents and the troubles that follow can also hinder the recovery process, which is why providing safe work environments and practicing safe work ethics is so important in any field. In 2019, there were over 4,000 preventable injury-related fatalities on the job, and over 4,640,000 medically consulted injuries, totaling over $170 billion in costs, which is a 2% increase from 2018. These facts and these numbers are staggering. The over 4,000 preventable injuries, or preventable deaths, excuse me, are exactly that. They're preventable. It is the responsibility of every worker in any field to hold themselves and their coworkers accountable for following safety procedures in their required fields. Sometimes it may seem that it's easier to cut corners, or at times we feel that us being safe, that we will be okay and that it will not happen to us. That is not the case. Sometimes blowing the whistle on such unsafe practices may have negative consequences, but it's a small price to pay to prevent the loss of life and to prevent families from unnecessary loss and hardship, which is why and continue to protect my coworkers and the people that I care about from experiencing the same thing that I did. Families are incredibly important when someone suffers such a loss as this. My family, I'm lucky to have been a great help to me in helping me through this. I know it's been stressful for them, and it's been difficult at times. But I just want to thank them for helping me through all of this. And I want to thank Tanya again and everyone else who's helped me through the recovery process after experiencing my work injuries. I just want to encourage every worker in every field, whether you're the lowest position possible or you're the CEO of the company, to ensure that safe practices are followed at your workplace in every situation. And I just, excuse me. I just want to thank some of my coworkers as well, who are probably watching, who have also helped me through a lot of this. begun advocating on their own for additional. And I just want to thank them for that as well. And I will go ahead and turn it back over to Tanya. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. I know that that was rough, and just know that each time that you speak, and it is going to make a difference. It will make a difference. Just as you were saying, now your coworkers are advocating. So I thank you for speaking and sharing your story with us today. USMWF strives to connect with family members that have been directly affected by a work-related incident, and that's because we don't want them to be alone. We don't want them to have to go through the loss and the devastation by themselves. But on occasion, we are really blessed with a family member that actually does the research and connects with us. It just doesn't seem like that happens very often, but when it does, they usually become a really, really strong advocate for health and safety. That is what USMWF family member Rena Harrington did after her tragic, unexpected loss. She is here today, and she's going to be talking about her son, Justin, and she is turning her tragedy into prevention.
Hi, Tammy. Thank you. I'm very honored to be asked to speak tonight. This is very special to me. So yes, I'm talking about my son, Justin. Justin was 27 years old when he passed away. It was on the morning of January 18th, 2018. He was at work on the job site. He was a construction worker. He was working on a house that was had been raised up to dig out a basement. And the house was sitting on cribbing and steel beams, and he was on an excavating machine digging out the foundation. And the excavating machine that he was on did not have any overhead protection for the worker. It did not have a cab or a roll bar or a kill switch, and somehow he became pinned between the machine itself and one of the steel beams above his head, and he was crushed to death. He was just an amazing kid. He would do anything for anybody. He loved to help people. He would light up a room when he walked in. His laugh was so infectious, you just couldn't help but start laughing yourself. He was a huge sports fan. He loved all sports, but especially football. Every Sunday you could catch him with his brother Jeremy, watching TV, drinking Budweiser, cheering on the Patriots. That was his beloved team. He cared very deeply about his family and his friends. There was a time there that he thought that when he was in his early 20s that he thought he was going to move to California. He got ready to go, and he was saying goodbye to his brother and his sister-in-law and his little niece. And his niece said to him, "You mean you're not going to live here anymore?" And he burst into tears. And everybody knew then that he was not going to last very long out in California. And everybody thought, well, maybe 6 months he'll be out there. Well, he lasted 3 days and he was back. So that just showed how important family was to him. My own mother passed away in 2015, and he had a very special relationship with her, and he was devastated when she passed away. He was still grieving her death when he passed. And that's one of the things that really brings me comfort, is that knowing that they're together. And, the other sad thing about it is that, you grieve things that were going to happen, that can never happen. Justin was making plans at the time of his death. He was talking about getting married. He was talking about starting a family. He had completed hoisting classes and was getting ready to take the exam to get his certificate. He also wanted to get his CDL license to be able to do more in construction. Driving the bigger machines and dump trucks. He was working toward making this a career when it all got cut short. And when something like this happens, you don't realize until later how far-reaching a death like this is. It's not just only myself and his dad and his sisters and brothers who are devastated by this. It's all of his family, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and the entire community, everybody that knows him. I still have people come up to me and tell me stories about how he affected them. And it just makes me so proud. And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about him. And I want to continue to tell his story wherever it needs telling, so that we can educate people and talk about workplace safety, so that we can stop these incidents from ever happening again. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rena. Thank you very much for sharing with us today. I know it's not always easy. It's not easy for us to hear the stories either. However, it really does make a difference. Just know it is making a difference. I would like to introduce Michelle Olson once again to sing Dancing in the Sky with Danny and Lizzie. I do have to have a disclaimer here that we have no rights over this song. So with all that said, welcome, Michelle.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to sing the song today. I've enjoyed being involved with this organization. It'll be 9 years this year that my son's father lost his life in a work accident. So I'm gonna sing this song and put the music on, and I hope y'all can hear it. Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. So tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is the music, is the art and invention? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. I hope you're dancing in the sky, angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That is a powerful song that gets me every time, to be honest with you. So thank you so much for singing again this year and joining us. It means a lot to so many. We are honored to welcome Chaplain Kevin Carey with Living Hope of the Nazarene as he says a prayer for us and lead us into a moment of silence, at which point we will recognize our fallen workers.
Thank you, Tanya. I want to join the others tonight, just to let you know I'm so honored to be with you tonight. And I just ask that in the silence of this moment, that you would just bow your heads with me and let us go in prayer. Lord, we come together on this solemn night, on this sacred night, on this difficult night. And though we come together in grief, acknowledging our human loss, may you grant us grace that in pain we may find comfort, in sorrow, hope, and in the despair, may we have the consolation of our loved ones' presence in our lives as we continue with a relationship that never ends. Thank you, O Lord, for the life of each one that we honor tonight, for what they gave to us in life and what they continue to give us in our grief. We thank you for the warmth of their love, which continues to be experienced in us every day. And we call to remembrance their humor, friendship, and joy, the joy they brought wherever they went, and most of all, for their unending love in us. And for these dear ones here tonight, I just ask that you'd surround them with your presence each passing hour. And for the newly bereaved, those who have just recently begun their grief journey and their lifelong process of healing, we just ask that you'd lead them and guide them. And on this very night, may they have your peace, Lord, which passes all human understanding. And may you grant to them the revelation knowledge that though the seasons of their loved ones' time here may have physically ended, that their presence will remain in the lives of these bereaved ones for the rest of the seasons of their lives. So as we honor their memory by living our lives as they would want us to, may we discover the supernatural reality of continuing bonds, that the relationship never ends, that it's just in a different setting. And finally, Lord, would you place them like a seal over their heart and remind us that love is as strong as death, and that many waters cannot quench love, nor will rivers overflow it. So, Lord, as we surround these wonderful folks tonight, we just join our hearts and we support them in this moment of silence.
We know and understand this day could not happen without the dedication and hard work of many. We would like to take a moment and thank our speakers, our artists, and clergy for joining us tonight on this special memorial ceremony. It takes a lot of time and effort from many to host all the events. We thank the partners and volunteers for your support and time. We want to recognize the family members for sharing their loved ones' photos, with us allowing us to honor them this Workers' Memorial Day. And as we close our ceremony, please join us as we present and honor our nation's fallen workers this 2021 Workers' Memorial Day. They are forever remembered and honored by USMWF. For more information about other upcoming events USMWF is hosting, as well as a link to the upcoming OSHA ceremony that is on April 28th, please go to our website at usmwf.org. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We will always remember all of our fallen workers, and we are so sorry for your loss. Please again go to our website at www.usmwf.org to find out about upcoming events that we're hosting, as this is just the beginning of Workers' Memorial Day. We honor and are so blessed that you shared your loved one's photo with us. And for more information about how you can share your loved one's photo on our Face Campaign Tribute, please again go to our website at www.usmwf.org. We thank you very much for your time, and our hearts go out to you. Please let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Have a safe and happy evening. Bye-bye.